Welcome back to One Foot In. I'm Ohana. He's Winn. We had some college football this weekend, which means we have some college football to talk about on this fine Tuesday, October 29th. A few days away from Halloween. Shout out to Halloween.
I don't even know what I'm going to be yet.
Me neither.
Maybe I'll be Brian Kelly. I think I'd scare people away.
Would you?
I'd scare some wins away.
You would scare some big wins for sure. Okay, Brian.
Got him.
You got to respond now.
Got him.
We will get to that game.
Okay.
We are going to get to that game.
What are we starting off with?
We're going to start off with, it's a combination of games. We're really going to go down the list for the top 6 teams in college football because it's an interesting top 6. It's a star-studded top 6, the names at least.
Yep.
And I think we just start right at the top with number 1 Oregon, which there's not much to say about this team. They just keep it rolling. They went out there and they beat Illinois, who's also ranked 38-9.
Well, there's not much to say because there's so much to say. Like every component of Oregon's team
is just firing right now.
Is firing. The Illinois game was a 24.5 point spread. And Illinois is not a bad team.
They're ranked.
Not. They're ranked. They've played some teams well. They had a decent win earlier a couple weeks ago. I forget.
Yeah.
They beat Nebraska.
Yeah, and Nebraska one was overtime.
Yeah, that was an overtime one.
They beat Michigan 21-7.
Yeah, they've beaten some legit teams. Luke Altmaier is a legit quarterback, and Oregon made him look awful. They made their whole team look awful. Yeah. I mean, the offense was firing, and Dylan Gabriel even threw a bad pick, which is super rare of him to do, and still it didn't matter. Like, it just did not matter. Oregon is number 1, and they proved exactly why. And
making his way possibly to number 1 in the record books is Dylan Gabriel, who's now second in NCAA history, passing touchdowns and passing yards, which I feel like kind of, at least to me, kind of snuck up on me.
Yeah, I was not expecting that at all.
I feel like Dylan Gabriel hasn't been in my consciousness for that long.
He's been around.
He's been around.
Long, though.
Yeah.
UCF, Oklahoma, and Oregon. Yeah. That's a crazy transition. Bro's just seeing the states.
He is.
He's going to transfer to.
He's making his way.
He'll transfer to UMass next year, and then he's been in full circle, basically.
Good for him. Yeah.
Simple as bring back the Amherst crowd. You know what I'm saying?
Something simple.
Something simple.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much more to say. Their defense looks great. Luke Altmaier, like you mentioned. He's good, and he threw 2 picks in this game.
They made him.
He only had 1 previously the entire year.
They made him look bad.
Yeah, I mean they made the entire team look bad. They just, I don't know, they're a wagon right now, and I'm happy about it because they keep proving me right. Every single win.
Yeah. They play Michigan this weekend,
which they'll
dub.
Yeah.
Maryland, dub. Wisconsin, dub.
Washington,
dub.
Come on.
So
they're making their way to the Big Ten championship.
And we've been high on Oregon from day one. Day one, okay? So all you people out there, remember that. Remember that.
Don't doubt.
Don't doubt.
Now, number 2, Georgia, I feel like we can just skip them because they didn't play this week.
Yeah.
So, not much to say. They are playing Florida.
We'll see.
They are playing Florida this Saturday.
Florida wins that game. There's literally...
I'll be there.
There's not a way.
I'll be there.
I will not be there. There's literally not a way. Maybe I should just go to a game somewhere else. I've been in Knoxville. I've been in Norman. Gotta see the world, man.
I mean, that is true.
Should I go to Missouri?
Are we gonna get to Missouri?
Okay, here's all I'll say about Missouri. The fact that they still have a number in front of their team name is
ridiculous.
The AP, you need to take a long, hard look in the mirror and wonder why you want to just kiss Eli Drinkwitz like that. Because that's what they want to do. They just want to kiss him.
Apparently,
it's ridiculous.
They're
so bad. They're so bad. Every component
bad.
of their team is so bad.
Atrocious.
I wish Vanderbilt beat them.
They should have. They should have won that game. Kind of ridiculous.
The Ohio State game was a weird game. That was a game. Oh, eye roll from Mr. Ohana.
I've got a lot to say about this, but I'll let you go first.
Well, if you got okay, well then I'll keep.
It's not a lot. It's just a rant.
It's a rant. Yeah,
I have a lot of emotion about this game.
Well, let me say this: Nebraska looked like a different team than the Indiana game. I don't know where they were, but this guy's just somebody in this room.
That's what I'm getting.
There's a couple people in this room that don't like Nebraska, and there are only really 2 people in this room. I don't hate Nebraska, but they completely turned it around. They had good chunk yardage. I mean, Raiola was able to find some spaces, but they struggled to find the end zone. They just couldn't score. And then they couldn't score on the 5-yard line. They couldn't punch it in off a pick, so they turned it back over to Ohio State. A touchdown would have given them the lead.
Yeah.
They led 17-14 at the start of the fourth quarter. Ohio State came back, answered, took the lead, and then Nebraska had another chance to win, and they just blew it at the end. I mean, that's just the game recap. If you didn't get to see it, it wasn't two bad teams playing. It was two good teams not playing their best. But somebody to my left got a smug look on their face.
So yeah, Ohio State beats Nebraska 21-17. Will Howard throws 3 touchdowns. The final drive of the game, Nebraska has the ball down 21-17. Dylan Raiola throws a pick to Jordan Hancock. Whatever. They lose the game. What I really want to say, though, is now, in this moment, against Ohio State, Nebraska decides to cover their spread. They decide to not lose by 49 points. Now, it's they could have been a week earlier.
But Indiana's them, bro.
I guess Indiana's
them. Dude, when you picked Nebraska to cover Indiana, I was like, dude,
yeah, but
Big Kurt's going to get you,
if
bro.
If I picked Nebraska to cover against Ohio State, you would have had the same reaction. And then they did.
Dude, Indiana over Ohio State. I love Indiana right now, dude. This is the Sig 10,
Nebraska over Ohio State would have been, oh, what are you doing? But now they want to play a good game. Well, I don't even know if a good game is the right word. Ohio State, you suck. Nebraska, you really, really suck. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Say it.
Nebraska? You're a joke of a school. You know where Nebraska ranks for me now?
Holy.
Nebraska, you get to join the party that's been solo occupied by the Green Wave. Tulane, you have visitors. You have a new friend to go out with, to go drink beer alone with.
And you guys should listen to the way Eitan talks about Tulane. He is not a fan.
Or not talk about. I have not brought up Tulane.
Since, we have not talked
since the 3rd episode of this show, and you're getting mentioned because you have a new friend. Yeah, give me the hater shades.
I didn't bring
my hater shades today.
Now it's starting to get serious.
Tulane and Nebraska, I hope you find nothing but misery. I hope you two together, in your little terrible party, your group of sadness and despair. That's what I hope you guys have, because you two are a bunch of frauds. But this is about Nebraska. Tulane, I can't believe I dragged you back into this. Honestly, I'm kind of.
You don't even deserve the airtime.
You don't deserve the airtime. I'm also kind of surprised I pulled you guys out of the deep prison you were locked in mentally. But it's just ridiculous. And Nebraska, you stink for pulling this off. And Ohio State, you arguably stink more. I'm not really sure yet. I will say, I'm not picking you against Penn State when that happens.
Ooh. Taking Penn State?
Let's not get ahead of
ourselves.
That's not for this episode. I still have to dive into the All-22, do some film study before I pick that game. But let me just say, this was not a good showing for you. I don't want to use the F word, but you guys might be a bunch of frauds.
Not the F word.
I don't want to say it.
Okay, now wait a second. I'm going to play devil's advocate. Dylan Raiola is 18 years old. Nebraska has not been good for a while. They didn't play a terrible game, but I know you're talking about the spread. You're saying that they should not have been in this game.
No.
Now, is that...
If you're going to get blown
out... And then if
out,
you're going to be in the game, then make a drive at the end. Don't
throw a pick.
Win the game. Yeah, then this is a different conversation. But now you just lost.
I'd be more upset.
Really?
I would be furious if they won the game. You lose 56-7 and then win against Ohio State.
Yeah, facts. Dude, give
outraged.
me Indiana plays Ohio State. That's going to be a game. Should we go to that?
We should go to that.
I'm down.
Let's ride that.
That'll be lit.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. Jeremiah Smith has scored a touchdown in every game he's played in.
Yeah.
That's insane. Why is Quinshon Judkins on Ohio State? I know he is, but I don't get it.
Wanted a transfer.
I guess he wanted out the SIP.
Has that nasty spin move. So college football.
All right. So Ohio State, I think both of those teams, I'm not really worried about them until they get to playing each other.
Penn State and Ohio.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, never mind. After Ohio State plays Penn State. I'm saying Ohio State and Indiana.
Yeah.
Indiana I'm not concerned about until they play Ohio State. Ohio State, the Penn State game will be interesting, which is what we're about to talk about right now.
Yeah. Another team joining Oregon that, I had stock in early on when we made our predictions for the season. I was a Penn State guy. And I am a Penn State guy now because they're number 3, the 3rd-ranked team in the nation in college football, which is kind of shocking considering their track record of completely collapsing. But they haven't had the opportunity to collapse yet.
That's true.
That's coming up against Ohio State.
We'll get a full talk about that game.
We will, and we're going to find a lot about Penn State, who lost their quarterback at halftime.
Yeah, Aller went down with a leg injury. From what I looked at, he's supposed to be okay to play. But still, I mean, an injury like that, like when you get banged up pretty bad in a game and you have to leave, then you're not going to be 100% by the next week. Wisconsin was up 10-7 in the third quarter and then gifted Penn State a pick six. Literally gifted it to them, sent it right into their right into the inbox with the star on it, a big flag, and said, "Here, take this." And then Penn State basically just got to walk away with that.
Shout out backup quarterback.
Shout out.
Streets are saying Trace McSorley 2.0.
Whoa.
Streets are saying. So
what's the Trace McSorley song again?
Throw it on a dime. I ain't even trying. Just a kid from Briarwoods. No.
Shout out Trace McSorley.
Shout out. NFL vet. And yeah, he was good. 11 for 13. Yeah. 98 yards.
I have confidence in either of them. Their throwing game isn't what their whole offense relies on either. So
no.
They just have game facilitators. Dude, you could probably put both of them. Like they look very similar in their play styles. Aller.
Yeah, I mean, Aller's got the physicality.
Yeah, that's true. If he's able to play, they'll play him.
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah, he's a starter.
But if he goes down, then I'm not too worried about that. I mean, it still means something. I get that.
You'll probably cover at least. You'll probably cover the spread.
Yeah.
Ohio State's not gonna blow you out apparently.
The other game we've got, or the other team we want to. Well, we got two really.
But do you want to save this one for the final segment?
Yeah, we'll save that one for the final segment. We'll save Miami for later.
Yeah, and then Texas. Another week where I said Texas would win comfortably. And they won this game. They did beat Vanderbilt.
We were both wrong.
But comfort is not the word I'd use. 27-24 over Vanderbilt. Concern definitely starting to grow with Texas.
It is.
What's going on?
It is. However, Vanderbilt is a good football team.
They are a good football team.
And I will not let anybody take that away from my Commodores, and I wish you had just beaten Missouri.
You should have beaten Missouri. Everything would be so much simpler.
But that's okay. That's okay.
Happens.
Texas for the most part had this game. Like they were always
They were
always the step above Vanderbilt. Yeah. Like Vanderbilt was always catching up, basically.
Yeah, they were in control.
Besides obviously when they scored first. But like Vanderbilt was always catching up. And then I don't know if I would call the final score deceptive, but like it really was more of like a 27-17 game.
I mean, there was an onside kick in there.
Yeah, there was an onside kick that had they gotten would have been a game changer. Also, the Texas D lineman hit my boy Pavia with the targeting.
Not cool.
That was not cool. That was a nasty hit too, Broughton. That was not cool.
Not cool.
He got hit as he threw. I mean, he threw a pick six, but then it got called back because roughing the passer. So I'm sure Sark gave it more to him than I'm going to give it to him.
Protect Pavia. Don't do that to Pavia.
Protect my boy.
That's messed up.
The fact that Vanderbilt's not ranked anymore and Missouri is
that's annoying.
They also whoever is working at the AP, not cool.
You got to get fired.
Not cool.
Ridiculous.
Don't like it whatsoever. Don't like it whatsoever. Are you worried about Texas?
I mean, you have to be worried about Texas. Yeah. I thought in this game specifically, I thought Ewers played well.
Yeah.
I know he threw the tipped pick early. He had the tipped pick early. That's a tipped pick. But then you ripped 17 straight completions.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns. So I thought
straight is a lot.
Yeah, I thought coming back from the benching in the Georgia game and looking a lot more composed. And by the way, he looked a lot more composed even the second half of that Georgia game. Yeah. Whatever. He looked, fully composed in this game. So I thought he played well. I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me that Vanderbilt's hanging around with Texas. Like, I feel maybe there's a chance Texas isn't as good as they were in my head, where I was like, wow, this Texas team is a juggernaut. Yeah. Maybe they're not that. Does that mean they're eliminated? No. Does that mean they can't win the national championship? No, it doesn't, because ultimately you need to get hot at the right time, especially with a 12-team playoff. Yeah. If you get hot, if you play your best ball, which I think if Texas plays their best ball, I do think they're the best team in the country. They just got to play it in the playoffs. So
you like them more than Oregon right now?
I mean, it's a coin flip between them and Oregon. But
not Georgia, the team that beat them?
No.
Pretty handily?
No. If they play their best ball, give me Texas.
That's fair. That is fair.
But you got to play your best ball.
That is fair.
That's a prerequisite.
That is fair.
I appreciate it. It is fair.
I'm not worried about Texas either, but, I don't know.
It's not great.
It's not great.
It's not good. It's not a good look.
I mean, when they play A&M at the end of the season, that's what matters.
Apparently,
that's what matters. Like they play Florida. I'm not worried about that, but like that A&M game is going to be big, and we're going to jump into that in our rundown.
Yep.
So for our rundown segment, we're going to start it. We're going to talk about one more game, but then we're gonna kind of bounce around a little bit. That's the LSU A&M game. Well, we're not even going to really talk too much about the game itself. No. It's more of the question of, is Texas A&M a legit football team?
They might listen.
Whoa! You were about to say it. Maybe.
No. Maybe Brian Kelly wasn't lying when he called them the best team in the SEC. Maybe he wasn't.
Who's number one now?
I mean, it's
number
if
one.
You look and listen. You know what? I don't think they're the best team in the SEC because you know what this isn't. This show. This isn't the rankings. No. You could find the rankings. You could go to SEC.com standings and you could see who's listed at number one. It'll be Texas A&M. That's not our job. Our job is to provide cogent analysis and high level breakdown and to explain what maybe the standings don't reflect. And that's why we can both say. Actually, I'm not going to say we can both say. I haven't heard your opinion yet. But that's why I can say I don't think Texas A&M is the best team in the SEC. However, they're definitely better than I thought they were.
Yeah.
And they definitely impressed me in this game because I thought they were going to lose. And then they go out and they win 38-23. They're ranked 10. And where this game really flipped, because they were down 10 in the third. And Mike Elko, he says, Connor, come sit next to me. Marcel, go win this football game. You know what Marcel Reed did? He ran for 3 touchdowns in the half. They didn't ask him to throw, but when he did, Marcel Reed, when he was throwing the ball, he channeled max potential Anthony Richardson, and he said 2 for 2, 70 yards. No incompletions. He said, I'm not going to do the whole Richardson incompletion thing. I'm just going to throw the completions, and they're both going to be bombs. It's going to be an average of 35. So, yeah, they can make the SEC championship game.
I got a problem with Connor Wegman, to be honest with you, because, look, played great against Missouri, but guess what? That doesn't mean anything. Because Missouri sucks.
I could play great against Missouri.
Put Ohana in.
Possibly.
6 for 18, 3.6 average, okay? Total QBR 12.9.
Another Anthony Richardson stat line.
This is the thing with him is, like, then he gets pulled, and then he's, like, kind of sassy about it on the sideline. Not too much, and look, I get it. If I'm him and I'm playing one of the biggest games in my career, I'm not going to love being pulled. I get that. But I got to give kudos to Mike Elko because that's such a hard spot to be in, and for him to be like, look, we need our bigger run game. Like, we're a run offense. We need to get the run game going. Yeah. Give me Marcel Reed because now you've got so many more threat opportunities. And then, you know what? Like you said, when he wants to sling it, he slings it. He slings it. So I think that A&M should just start Reed at this point.
They should start him.
I think that it's that time, but you got to give a shout-out to Mike Elko. Now, okay, let me say one more thing about A&M, and then I'm about to get hot about LSU. Okay?
Get hot.
A&M, I'm proud of you. Because it's a first-year head coach. I'm really mad that you lost to Notre Dame, and because I don't like Notre Dame. That was really loud.
No.
I really don't like Notre Dame. It was your first game of the season, though. You played horribly in that game, too. I thought you were cooked. But I'm proud of you because first-year head coach comes in. You've won big games. You've overperformed, in my opinion, 100%. For sure.
Oh, that's
so I don't think anybody could have predicted you to be as good as you were, and I'm proud of you. Now.
Hater shades are coming on. Watch out, LSU.
We both had LSU to win this game, and LSU was winning this game.
And can I just say quickly, we broke it down really well.
We
did a lot of research, and kind of disrespectful to our time.
It was disrespectful to our time because of 2 reasons. One, why can't LSU know how to kick a field goal? Why can't they? It's snap, hold, kick. Through the 2 things. Look, if you missed 1 or 2, I get it. They snapped it before the holder was even looking. Yep. It hit him in the face. Culture problem. Instead of the guy that gets hit with the ball, jumping on the ball, the holder jumping on the ball, it hits him. He goes like this. Like, the long snapper is supposed to know what that does. And then the kicker has to run and jump on the ball. Ooh. And Brian Kelly was hot. Ooh. He was hot. He yelled at his holder. Good. You know what? Garrett Nussmeier, what are you looking at? What are you throwing the ball to sometimes? I don't get it. I don't see it. Like, where are you throwing that ball in some of these moments? Cooked. If you told me that you were going to throw 3 picks, wasn't it 3? 3 picks in the game, well, then I'm taking A&M every time. Brian Kelly, you know what? You're done. Done. And I don't think anyone LSU shouldn't make the playoff.
No, they won't.
They shouldn't.
They won't.
I feel
2 losses.
LSU's receivers are dogs, though. Shout out
Kyron Lacey
and Aaron Anderson. But regardless, what big game has Brian Kelly won since he's been there? Ole Miss is not a big game.
Nah,
that's not a big game. Like, okay, you can go back a couple seasons.
Can't believe you won that one.
Son. But like, no, Brian Kelly. I think that you're a fraud head coach. I never liked you. You also never did anything of importance at Notre Dame other than lose big games there, too. So you know what? That's my piece on this. LSU, I was high on you before the game, and you disappointed me. You really did. You really did. And that's why I didn't take you as my lock of the week either. I thought about it, too. And you should have. You should have won that game.
They were against Arkansas.
But it's Arkansas.
Yeah, it is Arkansas. Listen, I'm with you there on everything. Except Garrett Nussmeier. I kind of really like Garrett Nussmeier.
Dude, did you see his picks, though? They were terrible.
Yeah, it's why I love him. These stat lines are awesome. Awesome stat lines. 25 of 50, 405, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. He puts up these stat lines weekly. And by the way, little sneak peek. Once college football season ends and it starts getting into mock draft season and NFL draft season, and we're doing all that, I have a sneaky suspicion I'm gonna have Garrett Nussmeier pretty high on some of these mock drafts.
Oh, I am interested in that.
That's a future topic. We have time to go. Speaking of highly drafted quarterbacks in the upcoming draft and programs in general, Colorado at the start of this show, not this specific show, but in the first few episodes, we wrote you off. We really did write you off. We said we're not going to talk about you a lot. We said you guys aren't good. Now you're 6-2, and you're going to a bowl game in Deion's second season as head coach. And I just want to say, way to go. Way to go, Deion. Way to go, Colorado. Yeah. You beat Cincinnati 34-23. You're ranked now. You're 23rd in the country. From where you were just a few years ago as a program to where you are now, 6-2, that's incredible. Travis Hunter, back, really, 9 catches, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. You had 4 pass breakups on defense. You've reestablished yourself in the Heisman race after a shaky game last week or last performance where you come out in the you miss the second half, and it's kind of like, ooh, are injuries going to take Travis Hunter out of the Heisman race? Well, you had a great performance here. And Shedeur Sanders, I'm over the Shedeur Sanders hate. I really am over it because he's about as good as it gets for college football quarterbacks right now.
Yeah.
He's up there with all the guys, and he should be in conversation for QB1 in the draft. 25 of 30, 323 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he had a rushing touchdown.
You taking Shedeur Cam Ward?
As an NFL prospect, I'm probably taking Shedeur Sanders right now.
Who do you think he's the best NFL prospect?
He might be. Again.
Do you think?
We'll get there.
But who's the other guy?
Up there. It's him. Nussmeier, I think, is up there. As a prospect, yeah. I mean, I know the stat lines aren't great in college, but he makes NFL throws.
What about
weekly.
Gabriel? You think he's an NFL prospect?
I don't think Dylan Gabriel is up there with those guys.
Man. I just think that he is.
I don't think he's up there with those guys
we'll
as
talk
a prospect.
About that later.
Yeah, we have time to get there. That's yeah. We have a lot of
Colorado. We wrote you off, and you could be a playoff team. You could be. That's what's crazy. You could be. What's the rest of their schedule look like?
I can't imagine it's too difficult because they are in the small 12.
Okay, here we go. They're currently 6-2, third in the Big 12. At Texas Tech, Utah, at Kansas versus
Texas
Oklahoma
Tech is
State.
Worried about other things right now, as opposed to playing football. I think we're gonna get to that.
I'll close off with that.
We're gonna not even touch it. It's gonna be a little.
It'll be a smack.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is the thing about
They've
Colorado.
got no challenges left.
Well, this is the thing. If they win all 4 of these games, then they're pretty high in the Big 12. And then if they lose any of them, then they're out.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. You have to
win
out on this season.
You have to win out, but it's possible.
I mean, yeah. So, I think next week, we'll be talking about them even a bit more as more of the Big 12 kind of shifts and does its thing. And
just beat Texas Tech.
Just beat Texas Tech.
And you'll be a recurring topic.
Yeah. Sig 10.
Sig 10. Indiana. I love you.
I love you. I love you.
I told you I do.
I told you I love you. It's only
you.
Ever you. I only think of you. And if you don't know it, I wrote you this tune.
To be here loving you.
When I'm in the tune. Ooh. Shout out Green Chatting. Anyways, if you don't know what we're talking about,
it's
Google
okay.
it. Speaking of Google it, shout out Kurt Signetti for saying
Google him.
Google him. Google him. And you know what happens if you Google Indiana right now? 8-0. You know, undefeated. I heard something crazy today.
What?
Do you know that the Indiana, as a football program that has been out, I think, since the 1800s or at least early 1900s, never won 10 games in a season?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is true. They won the first bowl game in 86 or something.
Yikes.
With Lee Corso.
You know what?
They were just running because College Game Day was back in Indiana. They were in Indiana for the first time. And Lee Corso obviously coached there. And then there's a whole thing about how they won the first bowl game. But yeah, they not a good program historically whatsoever.
No.
And Sig has just, I don't know, he's been unbelievable.
I can't even say he's turned it around because it wasn't ever what it is now.
No.
It's literally like he just built this thing off the ground. Did you hear that he emailed the student body a couple weeks ago and said, hey, individual email, hey, we've never started a season, 5 or 6-0? I don't remember which one it was. We all need you in the stadium. If you have a club meeting, skip it. If you have homework, do it the next day. Do it. Come support this team. And you know what? That stadium is electric.
It's electric.
That thing was packed. They played well. Backup quarterback comes in. They still look sharp. They still look good. Granted, Washington didn't play their best game. But you know what they do too? They protect their quarterback. No sacks allowed in this game against Washington. Yeah. And Washington's not a terrible team. I mean, they still have the bones of a last year's national champion team, which I don't really agree with. But
they beat Michigan, which.
But look, seriously, Indiana, they just won this game. They just won this game.
They won this game. They've straight up won every game they've played so far.
D'Angelo Pons with 2 interceptions.
They obviously
1 touchdown. Shout out.
They're just killing their opponents. We don't need to talk about what they did last week to Nebraska again. Killed them. Yeah, they could. Listen, they're
making the playoff.
They're making the playoff.
They need to.
And they're only. Okay, here's what I'm worried about.
What?
They lose to Ohio State, and then the committee holds their schedule against them. That's a concern because their schedule isn't. It's a weak schedule.
Here's what I should.
But if they beat Ohio State, they're making the playoff.
Yeah. Well, dude, they were playing for the Big Ten championship.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, well. You know what? I forgot about that.
Yeah.
If they win the Big Ten championship, none of this matters.
Well, they'd at least be in it. If they're in it at the very least, they should still be in it. But here's my thing: if Ohio State beats you, they beat y'all pretty good, then you're probably gone. Then you're probably gone, and that's fine with me. If this is a neck and neck game, then I want you there bad. I do. I want you there. I love what's going on. I love Kurt Signetti. I love the whole squad. I think Rourke will be good to go against Michigan. He definitely will be good to go for Ohio State, I think. So, I love it.
It's going to be interesting. The Big Ten as a whole is going to get interesting.
The Big Ten right now is awesome.
Oregon has smooth sailing, like we talked about, to the Big Ten championship game. But then you've got Ohio State, Penn State this week.
Yeah.
And then you have Indiana, Ohio State coming up. And it's so these teams are the 3 teams after Oregon, I suppose, are going to eliminate each other.
Yeah.
And it's what happens? Ohio State could just run the table. They could be Penn State and
Indiana,
and then it's going to be them.
They could.
Penn State could, Ohio State could beat Penn State, and then Indiana beats Ohio State. Penn State and Ohio State get eliminated. It'll be interesting.
Look. I was a little vocal earlier about Notre Dame.
A few minutes ago.
when I was talking about Brian Kelly. Now, I don't like Notre Dame. Why?
Clearly.
Because what they do, you know the quote that says you should always undersell but overperform?
Yeah.
Well, Notre Dame does the opposite. Notre Dame is the Dallas Cowboys of college football.
Ooh, that's a good comp.
Because everybody wants to talk about them the whole time. The whole time. So this team's it. They've got this guy who's awesome. They've got this guy who's awesome. They're ba-ba-ba. They're ba-ba-ba. They're ba-ba-ba. And then when it comes down to the time they need to win, they don't do it.
Yeah.
They don't do it. They don't do it. Shout out Northern Illinois. I'm glad that they've got a big 1 in that second column because they deserve it. Look, but okay, I'm getting into my Notre Dame hate tangent. I'm doing it. Notre Dame, I don't think you have any chance to. I mean, you'll probably make the playoff just because you probably will. But outside of that, I don't think you're going to do anything significant. No. But I'll be a little nicer to you because you thrashed Navy.
Killed them.
You thrashed them. And I can't, why is Florida State so bad? Why can't Florida State just, give them a game?
Yeah, if you thought the Navy game was bad for...
Okay, I will say, though, USC could give Notre Dame a problem.
Yeah, USC... And they've got
because
Army
their style of play, I don't think blends well with Notre Dame. But still,
I mean that's a classic choke game for Notre Dame.
Yeah, it is. But Notre Dame, you got what you needed to. You did what you needed to do this weekend. You play Army and then you play USC. I'll talk to you later.
You deserve your credit for now.
Yeah.
And we can't just keep ignoring you and acting like you're definitely bad.
Do you like their helmets?
I
don't really like them. I don't think they're overrated.
I don't love their branding in general.
Cut you off.
That's a topic. I have a lot of. There's some brands I really love in college football. Notre Dame, not one of them.
You like Oregon?
Love Oregon. Top 3 brand. One of my 3 favorite brands.
Who?
Oregon, North Carolina, Florida. Simple.
John man. Shout out.
No, not Oregon.
Well, not Oregon, but Oregon's basically Nike.
Yeah, well, Oregon might as well be Nike.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But yeah, Notre Dame. Congrats, I guess. You don't really have USC will be interesting. You've been blowing your opponents out, but you're not a real threat to do anything, so you don't really matter in the long run. But credit right now. You get your credit right now. And just accept that.
We got told, by our ear piercer that I need to bring something up on this show.
Our professional.
I don't know if you saw it or not. You probably didn't because you probably weren't watching this game. Because I wasn't.
Want to bring this up?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
I'll say it real quick. I won't get political. I won't get too political. This is what I'll say is very moderate.
Yeah.
Texas Tech played TCU. Who cares? Okay. However, Texas Tech was attempting a field goal. They flipped it to their kicker, who ran for a touchdown and scored. And then when he scored, he lifted his jersey up. And it was a white T-shirt, and written on Sharpie, it said, Trump 24 MAGA. Now, let me see if I can find this. The coach said, quote, "We have addressed it. We will continue to address it. We're addressing it internally. It's always one of those things. As far as whenever you're dealing with young adults, the really young adults, I guess, the choices that we make and when we make them and when you share it. I always think okay, I'm not going to read about all that. This is what I have to say about it. I don't care about anything else other than you are a college kicker for Texas Tech, okay? You do not write anything on a shirt and then lift it up. Also, did he know going into that he was going to score a touchdown? Or was he going to make a field goal and be like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Like, bro, if you want to express yourself, go on social media. Get a tattoo. Do your thing. But writing on Sharpie under your jersey about it, I don't care what it was. It could be Biden 2024, make America whatever again. Like I don't care about what it says. I mean obviously political, really. But it's more of the fact of what are you doing? No one does that. No one does that. Don't do that. I don't want to see anything like that again.
Especially when you blow a 17-point lead and you miss a kick.
Yeah, exactly. You were then the reason that your team kind of got cooked.
Not great, boss.
Not great. Oh, but then the head coach said, quote, "I do encourage everybody to vote." So thank you, Texas Tech staff, for really honing in on us here. So I don't know.
Appreciate you.
I would kind of like to hear what people think about that too. Yeah. Maybe y'all are pro expression in football. Do your thing. But, like, I don't know.
I mean, didn't work out for you, buddy. Win the game. If you do it, win the game. Maybe save it for a game-winning field goal.
Yeah, it's game-winning field goal is different.
Maybe save it for that.
On a trick play touchdown when you're already losing to TCU?
Don't blow a 17-point lead and miss a field goal
too, I think.
And do it. Not great.
I don't know. It was at TCU too, which is crazy. Okay, let's jump into something very exciting.
Very exciting.
As you all know, we love our lock of the weeks here. We love them. We love them. Now, I'm wearing this Florida sweater because Florida didn't play this weekend, so they couldn't lose and they couldn't win. But guess what? A different Florida team was my lock of the week.
Uh-oh.
And my God, did they have me sweating. But you know what? Sweating. You know what? Let me back up.
Literally backing up. Whoa. Oh.
That's not really fair because I had insider information on that game. I was illegal. I was doing illegal activities.
Mario did text you.
That sounds weird. I was doing illegal activities with Mario Crispo. Anyways. This isn't about me.
No.
This isn't about me. Now, did I win? Did my lock of the week hit? Yes.
Did.
Am I undefeated? Yes. Was that the goal? Yes. However, the guy sitting to my left and to y'all's right of the screen is what I really want to talk about right now. Because I said, he's going to get it turned around. He's gonna find a way, and his goal is to get over 500 this season. Now, we had to miss a couple games because of this thing called a hurricane, but that's not our fault. We're not going to talk about it any more than that.
No.
Somebody shot their lock of the week from downtown, and what did it do?
Nothing but net.
Splash. Shoot my shot, get him wet. Bet that's all wetty. Shout out ASAP Rocky.
Shout out.
Okay. Anyways, talk to me about it.
Well, on Friday, when I was scouring the sports books and looking at the lines,
and the research was unbelievable.
The research was unbelievable. The film study, the all 22. I said BYU plus 2.5. Oh my goodness, the disrespect. BYU underdogs against UCF, an undefeated BYU. They were 7-0.
Yeah.
I said, what?
They didn't think they could win on the road.
What? I said, are you kidding me? A UCF team that, what was it, lost 5 of the last 6 in October? Or something like that. I'm be honest, I forgot the stat. Oh, let me pull it up.
UCF sucks.
That's
stat, all you need to know.
The stat was UCF had lost 4 of their last 5 games as a favorite in October.
Yeah,
now it's 5 of their last 6. Because you know what the BYU Cougars did?
Tell me.
Do you know what the BYU Cougars, quarterbacked by Jake Retzlaff, did?
What'd they do?
They won 37-24, which, if you weren't familiar with betting, that is covering because they were underdogs. And what did they do? They won. So even if they were 2.5-point favorites, they would have covered. Even if they were 12.5-point favorites, that's quick math right there, they would have won.
Bang, 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 bang.
Because they beat UCF by 13, and it was not really a 13-point game. They beat up on these frauds all day long. BYU and Indiana, those are my teams. Those are also my teams, I should say, because obviously I have the other teams. But BYU and Indiana, I love you guys. You're my 2 lock of the week winners. But hold on a second. Because I am still 2-3, that's not 500 yet. And yes, this is a great step towards getting back to 500 and then eventually over 500. But I can't get ahead of myself because I need to do this 1 week at a time. Like I said, I can't be all braggadocious, and I need to stay humble.
This is a humble guy coming to you.
This is, and I've learned, this is me speaking through experience, through not having that humility in previous weeks and saying, oh, I'm not going to miss from here on out. No, sometimes you get it wrong. But it's about the process. It's about the process of figuring it out to get it right. And that's what I did. And that's why BYU cashed. Because I went through that process. I went through that struggle and that grind and that research to find what makes BYU tick. And what makes BYU tick is that bond they have, the team that they are, the togetherness that they have. And speaking of BYU, because BYU is going to go undefeated. And they're going to win this conference, the Big 12. And they're going to be a top 4 seed in the playoff. BYU, this might be a season of destiny for you. And I'm not not saying you're going to win the national championship because I don't think you're that good to win the Natty. But what I am saying is that you're that good to be there and to have your name amongst those other teams that we look at, like the Oregons and the Georgias and the Texases and the Ohio States and these teams, these juggernauts, and you're good enough to be there with them in the playoff because you have earned your spot every step of the way. You are a real football team, and you keep on winning. And you've got Utah coming up next week. You've got a little bye week. You're gonna destroy Utah. You're gonna destroy Kansas, Arizona State. You're gonna destroy them, and then you end off with Houston, who you're gonna take apart. And so, yeah, you're gonna be undefeated. And BYU, I really appreciate you. And to all of you, I appreciate you sticking with me through some really tough times.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying those times are over. I'm still in a hole. And I still got to keep digging myself out of it.
You're still losing money.
I'm still down.
But it's either get even or get even worse, baby.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. And I'm trying to get even.
Now, first off, shout out to my boy because I knew he was going to hit it. And I'm loving the comeback, and I'm Team Ohana. This doesn't have to do with you anymore.
In addition. Furthermore.
My game was scary.
That was.
I almost lost my goose egg because of Miami just being stupid. Like, I don't even really know how to talk about this game because it's like, well, let me say this too. When I said lock of the week, it was a 20.5 point spread. So I needed 21 points. And then it changed to 21.5. And that had me sweating. But no, still
your spread was 20.
My spread was 20.5. Okay? Miami won by 22 points. I was sweating watching this game.
Yeah.
However, it's so odd because it's like I can't hate them for beating a team by 22 points, but at the same time, I could be like, you got to be better than that.
Yeah.
Because FSU is so bad.
And it's a sneaky 22 points. It was a little backdoor touchdown by FSU.
Yeah, that's true.
It would have been 29.
That's true. That's true. Like, Miami handled them. They handled them. There was never a point in this game where this game was scary. There really wasn't.
Well, spread-wise, it was 23-7.
Spread-wise, it was. No, spread-wise, yes. But I'm saying game-wise, not really. Also, Cam Ward receiving touchdown. Okay. Shout out. He threw for 215, which is lower than what he normally goes for. Only found Restrepo 4 times for 24 yards. So that's a little weird for me. I would like to see Miami play that game better. I would like to see them win by more. They still won. They still kept me alive. They still kept me perfect, so I like that. But I'm slowly getting a little more concerned about Miami as time goes on. I think they're kind of in a lull period, though, because I don't think they're playing a lot of great teams. I don't think they have a ton of fire. I think when they play, I know they have a better one coming up in a little. Oh no, they don't.
It's Georgia Tech.
Wow,
it's Wake Forest and Syracuse. They should win out.
What a joke schedule.
I mean, we knew they were gonna. We knew they should win out at the start of the season.
When they play Clemson in the championship game,
that's the first test.
That'll be interesting, and I'm excited for that game. Clemson will be in that championship game, right? So
they should be.
They should be.
Yeah.
I could see Clemson winning that game. Miami is slowly dwindling in confidence for me, which is funny because I'm not saying they played bad, but there were a lot of moments where I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here?
That's kind of the story with Miami.
22 for 35 is not great against FSU when you're throwing the ball.
No. Well, FSU, that should be.
That's what I'm saying.
That should be a 50-point blowout.
Ward got sacked 4 times. That shouldn't happen against FSU, in my opinion.
But you know what? Listen, this is a team that the previous 3 games had let teams that they shouldn't have allowed to hang in with them. They let them hang in.
I know.
And so I guess they didn't let Florida State hang in. There was improvement in that sense, but also we kind of knew
Florida State is the worst team in college football. They are the worst team in college football.
This might just be what Miami is. But as long as they keep winning, ultimately, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
But this might be the type of team that Miami is, and they're not just going to put their foot on their opponent's neck, and that might be it.
Yeah.
But if they keep winning,
what are we going to say?
That's all that matters.
Yeah. So, we'll see. We'll see.
We will see. That's the beautiful thing.
If you guys noticed during the Miami game, I don't know if you guys saw, but Cristobal, real quick, looked right into the camera and went like this. He said, I got you. He said, I got you.
He did say that.
He said that. You can watch this on Twitter.
Find the tape.
Roll the tape.
Yeah.
But he kind of saw that FSU were trying to cover the spread late in the game. And I texted him back. I was like, brother, you said you got me.
Figure it out.
You said you got me. And that's why, got you. Will I be betting on Miami spread again this season? Probably not.
It is scary.
It is scary because I don't like I just don't like it. But I'm trying to stay perfect. He's trying to get to over 500. And you know what? I think we're going to do it.
I think we are too.
I think we're going to do it.
I think we are. I feel good.
I think we're going to do it. I feel good. I'm very excited about Friday's episode.
Should be another fun
games
one.
Coming at you. We've got Ohio State, Penn State. We've got other games that I talked about that I'm kind of forgetting. What big SEC games are this weekend? There's a couple. It's starting to get interesting in the SEC now. Especially now, too, that we know where most teams stand.
Florida, Georgia.
Well.
Uh-oh.
No chance. There's no chance.
Well,
but like now that we know where a team like Alabama stands, who are most likely not going to make the playoff unless they have some crazy stuff, like it kind of gives us a little bit more, I would say confidence, maybe.
Everything's really shaping out now.
Yeah.
And we're getting there. We're getting there. Into the playoffs.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's flown by.
Season's been,
flown by. One. Shout out Vanderbilt.
Shout out Vanderbilt. You're way to go.
I love you.
Win another game. Come on. Get to 6.
Go bowling.
Go bowling, please. You will. They will.
Colorado Vanderbilt bowl game.
Oh wow, that would be fun. I mean, Colorado might be in the playoff.
Yeah, I know.
You never know.
I know. That would be electric.
That would be electric.
I think bowl games this season are going to be weird with the 12.
That would put up numbers.
Bowl games are going to be weird with the playoff.
It will be weird.
What's the format? I don't even know.
Less important. Or I mean,
I feel like it is less important.
Well, yeah, for a lot of the I don't remember how it is. Maybe or the bowl game. We'll figure it out. We'll get there when we get there.
Anymore, anyways.
Yeah, that is true. We'll get there when we get there.
Which is a shame. Shout out the Cheez-It Bowl.
Shout out. That'll be fun.
Shout out the Mayo Bowl.
I don't like mayo.
I hate mayo.
Hate mayo.
But Cheez-Its are good.
Cheez-Its, I would enjoy the Cheez-It Bowl. The PlayStation Bowl, get a free PlayStation. PS5.
Is that how it works?
Sony Bowl.
Pop-Tart Bowl?
Pop-Tart Bowl. You get to eat the giant Pop-Tart
like pickles?
guy. I'm not a pickle guy.
I hate pickles. Okay, good. See, this is why we do this together.
Yeah, we're wavelength.
No mayo, no pickles. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
And if you have a problem with that, find me.
Oh. Mario Cristobal.
Brian Kelly probably.
Will protect him.
Brian Kelly probably eats mayo and pickle.
100%.
In his free time. Like Will Levis. Mayo and the coffee.
Well,
he's a good quarterback. Well, he sucks. I don't like Will Levis at all.
Because he's not good.
Because he's not good. And he's weird.
And he's weird. Man, the coffee, not cool.
Not cool. Okay, we're rambling.
I don't know what we just...
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. We will catch you on Friday.
See you.